Hi, I'm Katie Kookaburra. Welcome to the World of Zwift.
Well, hello and welcome to the World of Zwift, the perfect answer to hammering through those Monday blues. This is what we got on the show this week. We've got part 2 of our brilliant Team Armani film. I try some particularly strange indoor ride fuel in the feed zone again. Robbie McEwen takes us on a rider recon of Magnificent 8. We hear from 4 of the preeminent experts in women's sports. Kristin Armstrong is back to answer your coaching queries, and Matt Stevens chats with current men's Zwift Academy road champion, Jay Vine. This show has been breaking records all over YouTube, and to celebrate, I decided to clone myself. Now, unfortunately, it didn't go quite as planned. Who'd have thought cloning was so difficult? But anyway, we have to make the most out of what we've got. So, Mini OJ, I believe you've got a message to tell us.
Yes, I do. You should all like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell, and comment down below for every like I'll grow into a real boy.
See? Thank you, thank you. There's been plenty going on in the world of Zwift, and first up this April, Zwift is partnering with the dreamiest wheel brand the cycling world has ever seen. That is Zip. Throughout 4 weeks, the Zip Classics will see races held across 4 of the most iconic Zwift stages around these amazing worlds. And guess what? You can join in on the action from my birthday, April 4th. What is stopping you? For me, too much cake. Workout of the Week has landed with fresh new workouts every Wednesday. They'll be tied to our major stage events, so your training will complement any ride you may already be planning to join. To find them, all you need to do is go to training on your home screen, select workouts, and you'll find this week's selection. Couldn't be easier. A word of caution though, they'll only be around for a short time before new workouts come through. As soon as you see one you're interested in, hop on it. We heard from our friend Eddie Izzard earlier in the series about her epic Make Humanity Great Again run challenge. That challenge saw her complete 32 marathons in 31 days, which is just full on ouch. Well, Make Humanity Great are launching an ongoing run series, and Eddie will be involved in the launch event, which is the 31st of March, to celebrate International Day of Transgender Awareness. We spoke about it earlier in the series, and the exciting news has finally been announced. We finally know the roster for the brand new Movistar esports team. Oh yes! And one rider that stood out for me was Beth McIver, who absolutely crushed it in season 2 of the ZRL. Can't wait to see what she brings to the team in the coming series. Go on, Beth. Hey, guess what? The #1 Zwift podcast, well, it's back with another cracking episode. This week has an amazing lineup. Who'll be talking about equality in cycling from an African-American perspective. There's an advocate seeking change and a trans athlete who just wants to see kids playing sports. Who would not want to put that in their ears? And finally, Cycling Canada and Lexus recently put on an event with pro rider and the nicest guy in the peloton, Mike Rusty Woods, to raise money to get more kids onto bikes. And guess what? They raised an impressive 25 grand. They also live streamed the whole thing, so you can go and catch the ride all on YouTube. The Tour for Utopia is back, and you know what that means. Double XP, baby. So, to celebrate this double XP bliss, we thought we'd double down and show you one of my favourite rider recons of all time, and that is Robbie McEwen. Which course are you doing? Well, as Magnificent 8 is first, let's see him do that.
This is a flat stage for the sprinters, and that's why I'm here. There are 2 climbs. The first one, which is hilly, it's 2.5 kilometres, maximum 8%. I'm now approaching the Italian village, and I'm on a precursor to the climb. This is a little drag uphill, just a few percent in gradient. There's the red bridge. That is the signal that the climb is about to start. It's 2.4 kilometres, steeper section, 8%, but it's on those steeper sections that the good climbers can do the damage. That was the start of the climb, so at the moment, just dragging ever so slightly, really stings the legs, and then just keeps on dragging. Deep breathing, it's already got me breathing, can really feel it now. There's the line right in front, it's a fairly flat sprint through to the arch. Finally a downhill. Nice flat section through the desert. This is where I will be sitting in, conserving energy. So we're only a few kilometres from the rock arch. But for those who don't back themselves in the big sprint finish, this could be a really good opportunity to use some energy and pick up the intermediate sprint. Have a look behind. Couple of climbers having a go. They're not getting past. I started my sprint too early. I think I may have blown the budget. 8 kilometres to go. Still rolling through the desert. The road is nice and flat. No major corners, no big hills. So it's a great time to recover. So you've got to use every opportunity when the road is not too difficult to look after yourself, save the legs, hydrate. Coming towards the finish, there are no more named climbs, no more major hills, but there is a little kicker just outside 5 kilometres to go. Into the last couple of kilometres, this is where the pace will be really picking up. There's a series of 3 underground tunnels and then a short rise that brings you onto Ocean Boulevard. That's where you want to open the register and take all the cash out. 200 to go. There's the arch. So that was the Mag 8 ride. I think I am going to take a week off to recover.
"2020 Zwift Academy Road was bigger and badder than ever, even though it had to be held remotely. And seeing it's been a few months since the winners were announced, I wanted to find out what they've been up to. So you know what we did? Well, we got Matt Stevens to catch up with the men's ZA Road champion and current Alpecin Fenix rider Jay Vine to see how his life has changed since winning the competition.
Jay, lovely to see you, mate. You're looking very, very well. And obviously the last time I spoke to you was to deliver the good news that the amazing news, you'd won the Zwift Academy when you're back in Canberra. You're now over in Girona, the other side of the world. Just sum up what the last few months have been like for you.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. So selling basically everything back in Australia. Yeah, sorting out visas with the Spanish government because we obviously wanted to live in Spain. In Girona specifically, just the weather, the roads, the sort of peloton life that is in this tiny little town. And yeah, it's just been go, go, go. Before we kind of look at the now and the future, let's dwell a little bit on 2020 because it was a difficult year for so many people, but in many ways it was an amazing year for you. So sum up your 2020 for us.
It seems like such a long time ago. It started off really, really well. Got really good results in the Herald Sun Tour. Was looking at doing a bunch of Asian racing with Neurocontinental, and was hoping to get picked up and signed when everything shut down. Zwift was basically the only thing that was going on, and wasn't sure if there was actually going to be opportunities through Zwift. And in the end, the elite opportunity got opened up with the Zwift Academy. So that was my end goal of 2020.
Just to stick with Zwift for a bit, I mean, you were one of the riders that was racing most regularly on Zwift. You clearly were able to really keep your focus. I mean, and ultimately you achieved your ultimate aim by riding primarily on Zwift.
Yeah, for sure. So during our summer back in January, December 2019, 2020, there was bushfires all through Australia. So essentially you were smoking 3 cigarettes a minute is what it equated to. So you couldn't ride outside. Zwift was the only option. And it hooked me. The racing side during those 2 months hooked me. So when COVID happened, I obviously wanted to keep doing some sort of racing, and I really enjoyed the racing on Zwift. So, I'd often do a 4-hour session where I'd just do 3 races back to back, just to keep myself motivated. So
yeah. And okay, skip forward to the now. You're in Girona. You're halfway across the world from home in Canberra, Australia. What's life like right now? I mean, you're looking well. You're obviously relatively settled. You kind of, I guess, you're almost starting afresh in many ways, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I got the crucial things when I first got here. I got my coffee machine. Yeah, I've just been loving the process of going around a foreign country, not speaking the language, just
going down little side streets and just seeing new things every day.
We all wanted to see you in the Alps Infinix kit and your brand new Canyon bike. What was it like for the first time getting your kit on, brand new shiny kit out of the packet, getting on that bike and going for a ride, knowing you're part of that amazing setup? What was that feeling like?
It was pretty special. I'm actually going to tell you a true story. So I didn't realize how many different types of arm warmers there were. But like in Australia, it's just no arm warmers, or you've got arm warmers, you know?
Yeah.
It's like arm warmers. Well, I got like 3 or 4 different types of arm warmer. I got like a rain arm warmer. I got like a super deep winter arm warmer. I got a light arm warmer and just a normal regular arm warmer. So like the kit was a bit overwhelming, but you know, I eventually found my jersey and my Knicks and realized it was a bit too cold for that. So put on some more clothes. And yeah, it was pretty special riding around for the first time.
But you've hit the ground running in terms of your fitness. Clearly you're in a great place mentally, because let's make no bones about it. There's a little known climb. Well, it's not little known. It's one of the most iconic Strava climbs in Spain, maybe even the world, because the pros use it as a kind of real measure of their fitness. It's the Roca Corba climb. And you, Mr. Vine, have the record, don't you? 26 minutes and 42 seconds. I want to know, did you set out to break it? Did you kind of have a pre-race warm-up, or did you just hit the climb and think, I'm just going to give this a nudge? Because that's amazing.
I did an XCP test earlier in the week, and we were sort of like, we come to the end of a sweet spot build. So we sort of did all a waste, sort of a fresher type week, and you know, just for fun, let's find the biggest, hardest climb that's sort of in our region. And I did a sighting run up the climb, just an endurance pace. Had a look at what sort of terrain it had. I knew the time. I had Strava live segments on, but very quickly turned that off because it's sort of, I don't know. I don't really like riding to you're 4 seconds behind or you're 1 second up. I sort of like picking my own pace. And I turned the segment, live segment back on when I was about 1 kilometer from the top, and it said I was 24 seconds up. So that was a good sign. So yeah, pretty happy with it.
Well, Jay, you take care, mate, and I'll catch up with you very soon.
No worries. Thanks, Matt.
Cheers.
And that's what you get, Jay, when you come over to a colder climate. 400 different varieties of arm warmers. And if you're anything like me, none of them match. March has seen Zwift celebrating a highly successful women's ride and run series with special events and rides throughout the month to celebrate women in the sport. A highlight for me was the live panel. If you missed it, don't worry, it'll live on forever. The internet. If using your ears is more your thing, then why not tune into the brilliant podcast version of it? But before you do that, here's a taste of what you can expect.
Hello and welcome to the Zwift Women's Ride and Run Series live panel. I just want to thank our incredible guests, Gemma Sampson, Dr. Stacy Sims, Gwen Jorgensen, and Kristin Armstrong. If knowledge is power, you are absolute superheroes.
I don't want anyone to think that there's a negative point in their cycle, especially with regards to performance. We can use our menstrual cycle to enhance our training because our hormones that fluctuate can allow us to go hard at certain times and really push that training boundary. And then there are times where we need to deload and recover.
So Kristin, I still like one of my favorite photos all time is you and your son with the gold medal. Talk to us a little bit about, pregnancy through training.
Number one, listen to my body. You're going to have days where you feel like you're amazing. And you're going to have days where you want to curl up on a couch and be in a ball. And this is just the fluctuations you go through. But first and foremost, really think about activity as what it can do, not only for your mental health during pregnancy, your physical health, your circulation, but also what it's doing to help you develop a healthy child.
Oh, there's me with Stanley. But I remember when I was pregnant, I would go out and do these mile repeats, and I'd go as hard as I could go, and I couldn't break 6 minutes. And I didn't care how high my heart rate got, and it could only go so high. Like we've talked about, like I had an internal governor and I couldn't go any faster than my body would allow. And our bodies are smart. We just need to listen to them. And so every pregnancy is different. Every person is different. And I think focusing on and really getting in tune with your body is important during that time.
We're going to switch over to menopause now. There's been actually a lot of positive research coming out of this lately. Dr. Stacy, I'm going to throw it back to you to talk through this a little bit.
Every woman is a little bit different, but what we know inherently is that we have to change our training. We have to change our nutrition, because when those hormones start to flatline, we have to look for other stressors that will replace what those hormones used to do. So when we lose estrogen and progesterone's ability to manipulate carbohydrate, we have to look and say, okay, well now we need to do high intensity work to change what's happening at the muscle level to be able to use and access that carbohydrate. We need to lift heavy, and I'm notorious for saying lift heavy stuff, because we need some neuromuscular changes to allow us to maintain power and speed. It helps with bone health. It helps with maintaining vascular function so that we can tolerate heat. It reduces vasomotor symptoms.
It's a scary thing, but it's really important. And then also I find that Zwift has helped me keep the intensity up, just like Dr. Stacy says, intensity is important. We can do long, slow distance every day. And so there's so much to learn. I can talk about it forever, but I'm going through the process right now and learning on my own.
We just need more studies done in and around women and how nutrition and running and athletics and everything affects us, because there's just not enough research out there to know how we really can reach our potential.
Thank you all for joining us, and keep training.
It's that time again when the World of Zwift production team decides to give me disgusting or indeed delicious indoor riding fuels. And we've had some pretty strange combinations, some good, some absolutely terrible. In fact, I still have heartburn from last week. And this week is a suggestion from you. In particular, one person who goes by the name of Crazy88, an ominous name, I know. Well, Crazy88 suggested this. Anyway, right, I'll give it a go. My initial looks are some red stuff piped onto the top of some white stuff. Now that looks like rice pudding to me, so I'll have a little taste of rice pudding. That isn't, ooh, that's like rice pudding that's been left out forever. The red stuff on top is, that's tomato paste. Now I like tomato paste and I like rice pudding, but this literally that rice pudding tastes like somebody has digested it first and then, maybe put it back out again. I guess the whole point of this little island of red stuff, like a floating tomato lava on top of frog spawn, is to mix it together and have it all in one. So let's do that, shall we? For Crazy88. There you go. It's not terrible. I'm going to be honest, it's not terrible, but having been a student, I'm used to eating disgusting things. In fact, I don't mind this. Crazy88, not so crazy after all. Am I pregnant? That's f***ing lovely. Wow. Yummy, yummy, yum, yum. Oh. On last week's World of Zwift, we told you about the unlikely link between a coffee shop in the Netherlands and some cyclists in Iten, Kenya, the home of distance running. In today's concluding part, we find out just how Zwift has given them the perfect outlet to keep racing during the pandemic.
Separated by 4,000 miles, but united by cycling, Team Amani and the Kenyan Riders Club have been working together to provide opportunities for East African cyclists. Despite COVID-19, they still found a way to ride on.
Before the pandemic, we have a plan to go to Netherlands and then race with Team Amani there. But due to the pandemic, we didn't make it.
Because of COVID, obviously, we had to rethink the first prong because of travel restrictions and all of the races being cancelled. So we moved to the online platform, to Zwift.
With road racing plans out the window, Team Amani moved quickly to make sure John and his fellow Kenyan riders could still train and compete.
My name is Mitch, and I'm the e-racing captain of Team Amani. It's getting warm here. Every Thursday night, we host this international intercontinental series within Zwift. It's called Amani Africa Rising Intercontinental Series. We started off quite small, with approximately 17 riders at our first race. It's a social ride. If you're a frequent Zwifter, you know social rides end up to be quite silent, no active chats, because everyone is racing hard or cycling hard. What we managed to get as a community, which is actually pretty talkative, and we're able to make it really social. So that's a good thing.
Racing in Zwift did help me. The time that they are in the pandemic, there was no races. You go outdoor, you do like long rides, and then you come to Zwift, you do like intensity, just getting that feeling of racing. Yeah, so it has been really helping.
We usually do Zwift rig, Minch, and the other guys in Europe.
Hey guys. Hey man, how you doing?
We are doing good.
Yeah, good to see you guys, man.
It was remaining 1 race for team time trial, and we pushed very hard and we get into top 3. I enjoyed so much.
My favorite course in Zwift is a climb called Up the Zwift. I think that's my best course.
So even after work, you can just come here at night. You don't go outside when it's dark, but in Zwift you can race anytime and you can train anytime you want.
Not only has Zwift given teams like the Kenyan riders a chance to train and race against other cyclists from around the world, it also provides them with much needed exposure to the wider cycling community.
We started racing teams in the Zwift Racing League, where we have riders from each of the clubs together with some of our Dutch riders to go out and compete internationally. So in a scene where it looked pretty bleak, where there would be no international competition for the whole year, we suddenly had an opportunity to salvage what otherwise would have been lost and race quite competitively on Zwift. That was a huge game changer, and for us, we didn't know it at the time, but it ticked a lot of boxes because, for the price of one international flight, we could potentially create racing opportunities for an entire clubhouse. And not only do we create racing opportunities, but we also create opportunities for scouting and talent assessment that are on metrics that are more objective rather than, who goes up this hill fastest. So it's been really a game changer for our project.
Probably see you guys next Thursday in the ride, or tomorrow if you guys are able to join. Yeah. So see you guys tomorrow. See ya. Ciao.
Friends of mine who are new to Zwift keep asking me questions such as, how can I get faster? How can I get better? Well, I can't give them the answer to that, but I do know somebody who can, as it's time to get some coaching advice from one of the greats of the sport, 3-time Olympic champion Kristin Armstrong. And she's back in her coach's corner to be the ultimate cycling agony aunt.
Hi everyone, it's Kristin Armstrong here, back with Coach's Corner, and I'm excited to answer a few of our own viewers' questions. So let's get started. I'm supposed to be riding a Grand Fondo this summer in the Alps, but there are no mountains anywhere near where I live. What can I do on Zwift to help me on long climbs? This is a great question. There are so many opportunities to train on Zwift, no matter the distance. First and foremost, let me go through a few simple training tips that you can focus on. So to climb well, you need to put in the elevation. Simply put, just climb. And sometimes we refer to this as just getting the climbing legs going. There are so many longer climb options on Zwift that you can choose from. There's the Alp to Zwift, there's Ventop, There's the Epic KOM, and all of these climbs are 20 minutes or well over an hour. So you definitely can incorporate these into your riding and training sessions. Secondly, and really an important point, is just building that overall engine. Improving your threshold, your overall fitness is going to do wonders for your experience and success at your Grand Fondo this summer. I mean, there is no better place than to do this on Zwift. There's daily group rides, there's races, as well as there's structured training plans that you can access through the Zwift library. Of course, when you do find the time to get outside for longer rides, get outdoors. It doesn't really matter whether the terrain goes up or down. I mean, longer rides and time in the saddle are going to help your body be better prepared for your event, as well as the additional fueling demands for rides over 2 to 3 hours. All right, question number 2. What's the best way to climb on the bike on Zwift, in or out of the saddle? Now, this is the question that often comes up, and oftentimes I've wondered this my own self. There are so many factors to think about when it comes to climbing on Zwift. I mean, it ultimately comes down to your individual strength. What are your efficiencies? What are you good at? This can depend on your trainer difficulty, your optimal cadence, your weight, as well as what are you typically doing when you're out climbing on Zwift. I find that climbing out of the saddle for myself for shorter durations at a time does help when I'm on a steeper section of a climb, as well as if I'm trying to close a gap to that next rider in front of me. It's like the carrot. But that lasts for about anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds. That's my efficiency. Now, if climbing out of the saddle isn't something that you've practiced, then no matter what the recommendation is, it most likely isn't gonna be your strength until you practice it and become efficient. And therefore, you're stronger in the saddle. I mean, the same goes for cadence. If I'm out riding at 100 RPMs and my fellow Zwifter is at 85 RPMs, that doesn't mean that tomorrow they should go out and they should match my cadence. You have to be efficient. Practice, practice, practice. So whatever it is you want to do, and you want to be strong at, you have to become efficient at this. Thank you so much for your questions. I look forward to having more questions come my way, and I'll see you next time.
If you need coaching advice from Kristin or indeed any of our coaches, then keep posting your questions below and you could have a gold medalist helping you. And that is it, the end of what I'm sure you'll agree with me was a pretty good show. We'll be back next week with a very special episode, and I'll also catch up with Matt Stevens ahead of Season 3 of the ZRL. Don't miss it. Until then, ride on.